G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Let's go. My boyfriend had an affair with my therapist because she pressured him and badmouthed me, and I don't know what to do. I, 26 female, have been in therapy for about a year now because I was on the verge of a burnout and still had trauma to work through from my previous relationship, which has negatively impacted my current relationship with my boyfriend, 28 male. While my current relationship has been an increasingly frequent topic in therapy sessions lately, however, I was there mainly because of psychological pressure regarding my studies and work. Lately, I've been feeling increasingly worse and haven't been able to handle the pressure around me as well, which has also put a strain on my relationship. Because I wasn't being completely honest with my therapist and her suggestions weren't working, we agreed to include my boyfriend in some sessions. These were to be one-on-one sessions so that she could get his perspective and create a plan that would take his needs into consideration as well. My therapist, 37 female, has been very helpful in helping me better reflect on my emotions and better articulate my needs. The better I could deal with the pressure, the better things went between me and my boyfriend. After a while, I noticed that my therapist was acting increasingly strange, whereas before she was very neutral and asked more pointed questions that allowed me to reflect on my own behavior in relation to my relationship and patterns of behavior. She increasingly began to badmouth my relationship and blame me for my relationship problems. I found this very strange, and I couldn't explain where the sudden change came from, but I didn't think too much of it. Maybe I was just on the fence about how badly I treated my boyfriend. Fast forward to now. Yesterday, I was at my boyfriend's house, and we were having a nice day and decided to watch a movie together before bedtime. Out of nowhere, he suddenly had tears in his eyes, and then he confessed to me that he was having an affair with her. He cried the whole time, and reassured to me that he regrets it and doesn't want to lose me. In his words, my therapist put so much pressure on him that he didn't know what to do and couldn't say no. I guess it started when she invited him to a one-on-one session. That was months ago, and since then they have been meeting secretly. After he confessed to me, I drove home and cried the entire car ride. No matter how long I think about it, what he says just doesn't make sense. How could he do this to me? Ever since he told me about his cheating, he has been constantly trying to call and text me. I have 13 missed calls from him and a lot of messages assuring me that I am his world and he didn't want any of this to happen, but she pushed him into doing it. He has also been to my parents' house, and my mother has told me how miserable he is and that he mentions over and over again that my therapist pressured him. Dear people of Reddit, how do I deal with this situation? Part of me doesn't want to believe any of this and wants to believe him. The other part knows that what he did is not excusable. In the comments, report the therapist. I'm ready to go scorched earth for OP. This is one of the most screwed things that I've ever read. Sue and go after her license. Something tells me the state board will not react kindly to this. Yes, as a therapist in training, this goes against everything we learn and every ethics code regarding boundaries and client benefit possible. I feel so bad for OP. Therapy is supposed to heal, not hurt. I've had some bad experiences with therapy, but nothing compares to this. Has to be one of the most unethical things I've heard of. My therapist did this with my husband. She was our marriage counselor. When I figured it out and confirmed it, I went full-on scorched earth. When I was done, she had lost her license and had to move out of state. She pulled her child from the school that she had enrolled him in, the same school that my child was enrolled in. She thought that she was just going to move into my house with my husband and live my life with my child and hers. I would be surprised if she's not in a psych unit somewhere after I had finished with her. And yes, I divorced my cheating husband. Your therapist can lose her license over this. That should be your first step, getting her fired. As a psychologist, I cannot emphasize enough how terribly wrong and unethical this was. It is a violation of your trust. It is a violation of her responsibility to both of you to help you heal. She abused her power and authority to manipulate your boyfriend into sleeping with her. While I do believe that he made a poor choice, the power differential here is substantial and it absolutely falls under coercion. He needs to report her to her licensing body immediately, or you can report it yourself. It must happen, not just for your case, but to protect future clients. Each state will have their own licensing body, and that is who you want to contact. Take screenshots of the texts if he's provided anything in writing about her behavior or their sexual relationship. And lastly, OP, I am so sorry. This will be more devastating than a regular affair, as it's someone who you've placed your trust in, and who you've revealed intimate knowledge to. Please find another therapist who can help you work through things. Unfortunately, this happens more than you think. A co-worker of mine has had this happen to her. Her husband and the marriage therapist started an affair. She sued the therapist and got quite a chunk of money. Money didn't help her heartbreak, but at least it was some bit of justice. And now, on to the update. Hello everybody. Sorry for not getting back to you with an update for so long, and for not responding to the comments. The last few days were pretty exhausting for me, since I had to study for my finals and go to work, besides being absolutely heartbroken. But I have read through all the comments and am really overwhelmed by all the support. After all this happened, my ex-boyfriend tried to meet me at my place, so I went to my parents first, but then got in touch with him after a few days. We talked for a long time because I really wanted to understand what exactly happened. But the sad truth is, I still don't know if she really pressured him that much into having sex with her or not. He couldn't give me a proper answer, even when I made it clear to him what the consequences would be for her career. So I broke up with him. I told him that he could talk to me anytime if he feels what she did was sexual coercion and assault. But I can't forget what happened, even though I don't know who initiated the affair and who is to blame. I'm also not in the emotional state to continue seeing him if he's complicit in my trust being so exploited and broken. Regarding my therapist, I have reported her and am in the process of suing for damages. I absolutely do not care how much she manipulated my ex-boyfriend or if he willingly had sex with her. I have been her patient and she has gone behind my back. Hopefully she won't have anything left after I'm done with her. So that's it. I am now trying to move forward and focus on the important things. To be honest, all of this has broken my heart. From one day to the next, my entire life has been destroyed and I can start all over again in terms of my mental health. Right now, I can't imagine trusting anyone like that ever again, but I guess that's just life. We live and we learn. Thank you for all of the love and support, and a big F you to all of those disgusting pigs in my DMs that have been trying to get nudes from me while I was absolutely devastated and in a horrible situation. In the comments, holy crap, that's so screwed up. And you're so strong to have done what you've done. Take your finals and wake up each morning. I know it's probably impossible now, but I hope that at some point you can look back and recognize that strength and resilience that is within you. Absolutely agree. OP, that is some incredible strength and discipline that you have. Sending internet hugs and wishing you all the best. You know, as someone who has had a therapist mentally F me up when I was younger, I really regret that I never reported her for all the shady crap and blocked it all out. Kudos to you for being able to stand up to her, hold her accountable, and get your day in court. I'm sorry that your boyfriend cheated on you and did that with the person who was supposed to be helping you. Take care of yourself, and hopefully she never has the ability to do this to another client. Quote, I told him that he could talk to me anytime if he feels that what she did was sexual coercion or assault. I would rescind this offer. He may well use it as a way to try and worm himself back into your life. It's pretty clear from the first post that this was a consensual affair, regardless of who started it. If he needs to talk to someone, he can lean on his own support system. The betrayed party is not responsible for soothing the emotions of the person who cheated. I'm very glad that you're suing your therapist, and hopefully her license gets revoked so she can never practice again. What a disgusting person. I hope that she hasn't ruined therapy for you, as people like her are not the standard. I hope that you have a good support system as well, and kudos to you for your strength through all of this. And now onto update 2. Hello everybody. Many of you have asked me for an update, and I wanted to wait to figure things out for myself and for the right moment to share the latest news. I guess that moment is now. What you guys are probably most interested in is how things turned out with my former therapist. As I told you in my last post, I reported her to the responsible board and sued her for damages. Initially, the board was going to do a mediation between me and my therapist until my attorney presented them with the evidence for the lawsuit, and they saw that it was a clear-cut case. She lost her license, which makes me really frickin' happy. Regarding the lawsuit, unfortunately, it will take a while. Where I come from, things like that just take super long. On top of that, she sued me for defamation in the meantime, but withdrew the lawsuit because apparently her own lawyer strongly advised her not to sue me. Duh. Now to my ex-boyfriend. Many of you have written to me that they believed that he was probably assaulted or pressured by her the first time that he had sex with her. This thought has stuck with me, and I needed to clarify for myself. I contacted him and we talked a lot about what she did and what responsibility he ascribes to himself for it. And wow, that was painful. The way he described everything. He was extremely manipulated by her and pushed to have the affair. He also confirmed that in a written statement for the court case. We got back together because we realized how much we love and need each other, but I told him that we had a lot to work through. This all happened several weeks ago. 2 days ago, I was on his laptop because mine wouldn't connect to the printer. I use WhatsApp Web to quickly get documents from my phone to my laptop and vice versa. When I went to log into WhatsApp Web in the browser on his laptop, he was already logged in. I thought my heart stopped when I saw their chat. He was telling her how much he loved her. They were in contact all the time and also met several times. I haven't told him that I know everything yet, and instead just went home because of a headache after taking screenshots. I'm absolutely at a loss for words, and I don't know what to do. I just don't have the strength to keep all of this going, and to be honest, I'm so ashamed that I don't want to talk about it. I'm such an idiot. So dear Reddit community, this is my update. Any advice would be appreciated. In the comments, is he doing this to try and convince you to drop the lawsuit? Maybe she asked him. Was there anything about that on those screenshots? It's worth taking a look. I know you called him first, but still. I don't think it's so crazy considering everything. OP replies, I didn't have the time to read through all of their messages, but the ones I did read didn't say anything about it. It seemed more like I was completely irrelevant and non-existent for the both of them. He did try to convince me to drop the lawsuit though. But really, they seemed like they are very much in love. In response to OP, talk to your lawyer first and ask them if there is any evidence that you could gather that will help your lawsuit, like more screenshots, phone records, etc. If you get those, then break up. Here's the thing, this was your therapist and he only met with her for a couple of sessions. While she did abuse her position as a therapist to interfere with your relationship, he is just as responsible. If this was his therapist since he was a kid who helped him work through some deep childhood trauma, I could see a case where he could be manipulated into a sexual relationship since that would involve grooming and such. But this is not what happened. This lady was your therapist, not his. It's not like she blackmailed him with his deepest, darkest secrets. She put the moves on him, and he justified his affair because he wanted to have sex with her. It's not any more complicated than that. Yes, I'm sure she talked crap about you, and probably gave him reasons as to why he should cheat, and why he's better off with her, but that's not any different than cheating with a friend. A lot of affairs start off with two people commiserating about their relationships to each other. Then they get emotionally close, because they feel like they can talk about things they can't with their spouse. Then it moves to physical cheating, and both are internally justifying their behavior. But it's just an affair. He wasn't manipulated into anything. At least you know you gave it your best, and you can leave without any what-ifs. But do not let him talk you into staying. Don't listen to his BS justifications about how he didn't really mean that, or he just thought he was in love because of things she said, or how she manipulated him into feeling that way, or any of that bullcrap. He cheated, he lied again. There is nothing to be gained by staying with him except more confusion, heartache, and bitterness. Just move on and get your payday. OP says, "Thank you so much. I needed to hear that. I am so sick and tired of his excuses and lies. All he has done is lying to my face. He has said a few times that we should distance ourselves from the situation and that he would feel better if I dropped the lawsuit because the whole situation is too traumatizing for him. Yes, I already sent everything to my attorney, and he told me the fact that they continued having an affair is even better for the lawsuit and the amount of money that we are suing for, which is really screwed up, but yeah. He is literally the best. Thank you for your advice." Someone replies to OP, "Yup, he's using you to try to protect the woman he loves. I'm sorry to be so blunt, but that's all this is. He's clearly a crap person, and you deserve way better." And OP says, "Wow, that really hit home." And now, onto the last update. Hello all. I don't even know how to start this update. A lot has happened in the last 2 weeks, and I want to keep it short and sweet. I still can't really believe it. My ex-therapist and I have come to a settlement agreement. I have now received less compensation for pain and suffering than we had originally planned, but the risk was that she would file for bankruptcy. I hope that's the right term. I would get nothing, and in the worst case, I would have to pay her legal fees. The amount we agreed on is still sufficient. Now about my ex-boyfriend. The two of them are together. He lied to me the whole time and tried to influence me to get her the information she needed regarding our strategy and to dissuade me from suing. After the settlement, he confessed everything and broke up with me. That happened 2 days ago. I'm sure you're wondering why I didn't break up with him sooner. After my last update, I acted like everything was fine. I wasn't going to break up with him until I had gathered enough evidence to make sure that I got enough money from the lawsuit. But I really wasn't expecting that to happen. I knew he was an asshole, but I didn't believe he had absolutely no feelings for me anymore. I was obviously wrong. Well, that's all. Thanks to everyone who texted me and gave me advice. I have gotten a lot of hate messages the last few months. It meant even more to me that so many people have shown so much compassion and empathy. You guys are great. In the comments, "This is equal parts infuriating and heartbreaking. I hope OP's lawyer is a goddamn shark and nails her ass to the wall. She absolutely should not let them know that she knows the affair is still ongoing. Honestly, I think she should just block him and not take any calls and completely avoid him and let him wonder what's going on. I think he deserves that uncertainty and anxiety." This is so messed up. It definitely sounds like OP's boyfriend would have had an affair at any opportunity, but a registered therapist should have known better. I hope OP gets whatever evidence she needs and gets out ASAP so she can start the healing process. Agreed. The fact that it's with a therapist automatically puts the affair in bad light. I have so much empathy for OP because she believed him when he said that he was manipulated and he was just lying. We tell people believe victims because so often real abuse of power gets justified, and when she believed him and he was lying, she had the rug pulled out from under her. Bro, I can't imagine going back to that mother hacker. Well, she's a victim, so if she thinks that he's a victim of the same person, that may be why. She hurt me so much, and she hurt him, we need to heal together. Something like that. OP also mentioned that she was working through trauma from a past relationship with her therapist. Depending on what that was, and how others in her life responded to that, I could absolutely see it being I needed someone to believe and support me when I was going through X, so I should be that person for him while he's going through Y. My background is social work. The top reason social workers lose their license is sexual relationships with clients. Therapy isn't a bad thing, but there are definitely bad therapists out there that prey on vulnerable people, like what happened to the original poster, and they are something that sends me into a fiery rage. I'm really proud of her for having the strength to stand up for herself and go through with all of this, even if she made an obvious misstep into taking the X back. An obvious mistake, even before finding out the torrid love affair was still ongoing, and that he probably got back with her to protect the therapist by trying to get her to drop the lawsuit. I hope she takes the therapist for every last cent, every piece of property, and every asset that they possess. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.